in my opinion, for AL, they're really putting onus in draft to shut out Xiaohu, which is a decision. We were talking about hyping Elk up, but he can get away from the Cataclysm. He can deal with the bot lane.
Reliant on that early advantage here, and will give you the ability to try to set these guys behind. A nice stun there found by Kyle, and Hope going to take an aggressive Valkyrie in just to keep that trade going. Elk relatively untouched though, starts to fire away as JJ is trading alongside Tarzan. Does get the fear to get a nice one there. Another stun found by Kyle, going to guarantee the Phosphorus Bomb, but Elk has the barrier shield. Arha going to have to flash away as well, and now JJ left a little bit alone as Shanks finds him, feared back away. TP incoming. This is Xiaohu in the middle of a 1 versus 4, caught by the flag and drag of Tarzan, and soon to be falling for first blood. Shanks cleans it up.
One Krug. JJ unaware of where Tarzan is, but Shanks doesn't know where JJ is.
Yeah, Shanks could be able to dash back away. Instead, going to go in. Pushes in Xiaohu, who still doesn't have the flash. Shockwave connects onto Shanks, though, and allows JJ to equalize the scoreboard, but it only lasts an instant as Tarzan will clean up the kill onto Xiaohu. It's quite dangerous for AL. They might be able to secure this dragon uncontested.
Yeah, the bot lane of Weibo, specifically Elk, has done a really good job of evening out that lead as Kyle tries to go over the wall. Won't be able to steal it away with just the Q himself, but
always, and Kyle, one of the more adept players in the LPL, just using this champion to its limit, playing it aggressively, getting inside the enemy jungle, roaming around the map, making the full annoyance felt as Xiaohu finds an engage in mid lane. They don't combo the ultimates, but they don't need to. They stay on to Shanks and finish him off before Tempered Fate can connect, as now Kyle might be the next target. Flag and drag in from Tarzan, trying to keep the Orianna still. Xiaohu flashes away, but now he's caught inside the Cataclysm, and Hope will finish off the kill. Arha trying to stay on top of him with the Unbreakable Will running, but now Elk is the next target. Tarzan finds another flag and drag. JJ's in too far as well. Hope just gunning him down one after the other as Weibo are forced back away. AL take a significant gold lead as Hope gets one more.
That is a huge fight win for AL, and what was a 400 lead in bot is now 1.5k. But Hope's here first, and he has so much damage back in live.
Zicker connects the public execution, holding Hope in place, but now through the portal, but JJ doesn't care, connects a Paranoia. Now Tempered Fate onto 2, double knockup found by Tarzan once again. JJ falling low, and Shanks will get him down with the Soldier. Arha now channeling that Unbreakable Will, gonna be tough to work through, but Xiaohu deep behind enemy lines, stuck inside the alcove and picked apart by Shanks. AL get 2 more.
Kyle and Tarzan are just running this map right now. I don't know how Hope got where he is. Tarzan still going.
Looking onto Arha, and Shanks gets a third. If you thought Hope wasn't going to be enough now that he's turbo-fed, Shanks going to join him right on that pendulum. Slow down a little bit if they can't find isolated picks. They do not want to try to take straight-up fights up against this Azir and this Corki in their current states.
I guess the one silver lining, the tiny, it's very small, is that Weibo have one dragon, so the dragon stacking is a while away, but here's Flash.
He has Flash, and it will be used. Flandre uses the Unstoppable Force, or the Unstoppable Onslaught, rather. TP in, Shockwave connects. They are holding down Arha, and they're going to try to focus him down. Elk finally gets his last auto, but what about the rest of the health bars? Shuffled on in by Shanks. Down goes the AD carry, down goes Xiaohu, and Tarzan just can't miss these flag and drags. He's going to clean up one more as AL win out another team fight 4-for-1.
I can't believe AL only lost their support there. It did not look good at all, the way that fight went. Zicker goes into the backline, but they're 6,500 gold up. That's how the fights are going to go. Really well played from AL to get that fight back in their control, but Weibo are completely shut out. They have no business moving anywhere. This game just might be done, Gordo.
Another huge influx of gold as they take down the inner turret. Mid-outer, the last outer standing. Not long for this world, unless Weibo can find themselves a little bit of a skirmish that they like. Decent damage onto Flandra, but none onto Hope as the turret will fall. Elk gonna lose a big chunk of HP. Shanks arrives to throw in some soldiers, and they have to heal to get out of there.
I feel like Weibo, that might have been their one chance to maybe get a nice shutdown off of Shanks. Hope up 2,500 gold, doesn't have a shutdown. Would have been nice to get some gold in the pockets of Weibo. But yeah, this Herald in Season 16.
Cannot get on towards Elk, though. Not quite enough distance closed. But the Rift Herald now here to charge into this mid lane turret, knowing that Weibo are a little bit weaker. Charge on in, going to take away all but the final plate. Tarzan going to continue to work onto this one until the turret does fall on down. It's a refresh charge for Shelly if they want to try to take her even further.
Does it still do the thing?
It does not.
It does, nice, okay. It is.
There's going to be an engage coming on through. Cataclysm connects and pulled out of the flag and drag by Xiaohu. Weibo's mid laner isolates Tarzan and gets a kill back. Now TP being channeled. This is Zika coming in to try to collapse with the public execution. Flandra follows him. JJ falls to about half HP. Public execution comes in. It finds Shanks. Headbutt going to take him outside of the magical journey. Elk trying to find the damage. Dashes forward but has to retreat in the face of the soldiers. Flandra, basically invulnerable at this stage, will successfully escort the rest of Weibo out of there and says, leave my carries alone. Yeah, that is where they're going to need to make up a little bit more ground. It's just the one pick will not do it. It does get Xiaohu very close to his second item, but not quite there yet. I think they've actually started it up now. Yep, Baron falling down to about half HP. Arha finally going to be able to step up. Throws down a control ward. Here's the paranoia, the shockwave combo. They managed to land it onto 3, but they don't secure the Baron, and they don't find anything kills-wise either. JJ's down. Baron is in the pockets of AL as they restore themselves to an 8k gold lead.
And this comp is a very shotgun-style comp outside of the Yanara. The Yanara really the only one that has consistent damage output. You're looking to all-in one target, blow that person up. Shanks.
Shanks up too far. Like that. They find the engage onto him. Tempered Fate tries to time it, nearly gets it to Kyle. Almost buying a lot of time for his mid laner. Tarzan's going to take the fight anyway. Cataclysm locks down Arha, and Hope will take him down through the ultimate. And they're not trying to stop there. Tarzan dashes forward. Elk able to space it out. Returns fire, but none of the damage really sticking. And this Baron's still at their backs. AL, even Sans mid laner, do not want to slow down their siege.
So yes, he dies. He loses his arm guard. But AL still have full control over the map. They've still got a minute of Baron if they want to try to break the bot side. Maybe the base, but Arha
found once again the young Weibo support. Being bullied this game. He uses the Unbreakable Will, but he may be broken regardless. They are just going to try to keep slowing him down with the Meeps. Finally, kill cleaned up by Hope, and it's a 5 versus 4 on the map once again. Zika did manage to pick up an objective bounty in the top side, taking down that outer turret, but does leave a lot of the rest of the map exposed. A late recall from JJ, in that at the very least a Crystalline Overgrowth going to fall in mid here. It's just a charge forward from Flandra. Here's the shockwave combo. Kyle is one shot, but Hope still at a healthy total. Going to get a TP in from Shanks to be able to join up on this fight, but I think Weibo, they took the snap engage, they killed Kyle, that's all they got.
I don't think that JJ can get in there. He has no flash. The dragon looks gone already, but maybe Weibo take the fight?
Yeah, they get themselves on a soul point, and Tarzan able to drag himself over the wall. Zika cannot chase any further. Has the public execution, but dangling that one out there. Juicy, juicy Hextech Soul.
And Weibo have brought the gold lead now down to 4.5k.
Tempered Fate finds, you guessed it, Erha. They're going to continue to work onto him. Arha doing his best to try to escape. TP incoming. This is Flandra, who's just going to take the onslaught in. Lands it onto Zika. Elk going to be Tarzan's target. He lands the Cataclysm and forces the flashback away. Down goes the top laner. Hope just standing, firing, and winning out in the battle. A triple to him. Xiaohu trying to stay alive, going to be able to pop the Guardian Angel of Tarzan, but that will not stop his rampage, nor the rampage of AL. They've still got all 5 members for this siege.
Well, Weibo even up the gold lead just a tad, and then it goes straight back to where it was. I don't even think that Weibo's fights have been that bad. You know, the shockwave combo that hit 3 people, there's just no damage from Weibo. They're so far behind, they can't do anything. AL break the base open. Are they going to try to end with 1 wave and no Baron?
See if they can do it. They got 10 seconds before JJ will rejoin them. Arha pushed back. Stun connects onto Xiaohu. So does the knockup. So does the flag and drag. Tarzan's all over him until Xiaohu falls. Elk and JJ trying to stay to the defense. Zika going to rejoin them. It's still all 5 members. Hope able to space out the public execution. Zika jumps onto him. Is able to take down 1 kill. Elk still firing away onto Flandra. But Tarzan dashes back in, as does Shanks. An ace to AL, and game number 1 goes their way. They're not going to punt 6-7K, at least not without a lot of legwork put in by the Weibo side, and this game certainly no exception. They hold on to the lead throughout.
You have to go something like Rel to play for the team fight, and again, AL going for that team fight idea. We have a lot of team fighting ults. We're pretty close range. Weibo kind of going with it too, right? We're all pretty close range outside of Syndra.
Up on the
I think
top
Zek is
side.
too scary.
Yeah, he's fine. He's going to try to start on up these grubs, and Tarzan waiting for a little bit of backup, maybe going to pull the trigger onto Zika. Will find him up against the wall with his supreme display of talent. In comes Flandra with the Void Rush to be able to find that kill. Now Xiaohu next up on the menu. Does get a nice scatter of the week to create himself a little bit of space. JJ flashes in, finds an isolated Shanks, and makes the scoreboard 1-1.
Mistakes from both of these teams. Zika rotates down with ult, very strong, scares off all of AL, but Shanks slips into the brush, and Weibo don't seem to be aware that he's left lane. Some Talias, some Cassiopeias, I think, as well. Just taking the combat summoner. Realm Warp behind the turret.
Shanks going to be immediately knocked up by the Glacial Fissure, but they're going to take the engage onto Arha, and Arha will be the first and perhaps only person to drop in this fight, as the scatter of the week from Xiaohu is a little short onto Hope.
He does lose the full wave, which does feel bad, but, I mean, if you were going to stay in top lane, you would have died and lost the wave anyway, so should be able to grab some XP at least, which is pretty nice, and AL able to open up that first Drake as well. You can generate mid-pry. That's kind of the only thing that Lucian does super well towards the late game. He's a really good mid-game skirmisher, but he can constantly generate mid-pry, use the culling to kill the wave, rotate first to objectives. Hope has to cleanse and flash. Is he still dead?
Ooh, Hope. One shot by Xiaohu, and that will be an advantage cross-map, but AL going to try to pull the trigger on the top side to make it good for them. Nobody actually started the dragon here, so Weibo actually find their pathway on in. Tarzan was clearing out his camps, now going to regroup with the rest of the squad. Jumps over the wall, looks for a supreme display of talent, finds it out of 2, bullet time on top, Arha down, and JJ forced to flash away. Flandra coming in on the flank, not even going to have to pull that trigger as Weibo are routed, and it will be AL moving on towards the dragon.
I love how AL play this team, but they're playing for small wins. They pick the support. Now there's nothing to stop you from us engaging on you a second time.
Kyle very, very low. Flandra finally arrives, but it's a little bit late to the party. They got about 4 plates down in mid, but they won't quite finish off the tower. And the Baron has spawned, but surely Weibo aren't going to look to start it this early unless they get a lockdown on a Tarzan. One shot with all of Weibo's power, and the kill credit goes to Xiaohu. JJ going to get traded onto, though. Hope going to be the one to finish that one off. It's a 4 versus 4 on the map as Zika TP's in.
You know, they wanted it for Jarvan, but Dragon's up. 2 Drakes already over to AL.
Tarzan looking for an angle in. The Dragon taken to about half HP. AL already so ahead in gold, going to look to play for the gold once again here. So that Dragon will be smited on down. That's going to delay their ability to get onto any kind of soul.
And an Azir is just not happening. But even though the gold lead isn't increasing, it's still 5,000 gold. This tower should break eventually. AL have full control over the map. Engage.
Yeah, they are going to use the cease and desist on Flandra, and he will be the first one to fall. A minute without a top laner for AL. Zika still looking for an angle to get this fight started, looking to punish them inside this tight choke, but Shanks ghosts towards him and pushes him back away. Baron now down to half HP. Tarzan waiting over the wall. They're going to try to flip it. Tarzan is in there, going to try to back on away as the Magnet Storm comes down from Kyle, and the supreme display of talent finds two. Baron falling lower and lower, smited on down, and goes the way of Tarzan, and AL with the rest of the members now ready to be cleaned up. Flandra has rejoined the battle. JJ just trying to buy space for the rest of his squad, but the Rek'Sai will hunt him down alongside Shanks. AL find the ace.
And you blink, Gordo, and the game's just over. It's a 7,000 gold lead. Look at how many towers there are left. This map control going to go fully over to AL. That was Weibo's chance. But the same way that AL can't burn the Baron too fast, neither can Weibo. They get wrapped around by Shanks. Flandra has time to come back, and there's just nothing that they can do. Now, look at these massive gold lead continuing to explode. Outrange, and now look at Rive.
Yeah, looking for another fight here. Arha will be finished off by the bullet time. And it is another 5 versus 4 for AL, and they're looking to collapse onto Xiaohu. Full sending the entire crew towards the one member of Weibo who's been able to generate a little bit of gold for himself. And they will take down the last inner. Zika with a little bit of rage splitting up on the top side, finally going to TP over to try to rejoin his team. Will it be too little, too late to save the base? Kyle absorbing damage like it's nothing. Kyle taken down below half. And they're not going to slow down here. They've still got the Baron at their backs. They're going to start to work on towards the final inhibitor turret, or this bot side inhibitor turret. Zika going to get focused on down. Hope going to be able to claim that kill. Inhib going to fall. AL have successfully busted open the base.
They're not even concerned with the Dragon at all. They know that the Ocean Soul has no impact on this game. They're 11,000 gold up. That Baron was the game. There's nothing Weibo can do. This is shut.
Yeah, they're going to try to close it on out here, waiting on a couple more cooldowns. Arha trying his best to front line. It's going to have to be something ridiculous from Elkin Xiaohu. EP in, here's Shanks with the Realm Warp. He's up a little bit too far. He's going to be the one they pull the trigger onto. Goes into the stasis, buys a little bit of time. Triple scatter the weak, found by Xiaohu. But the supreme display of talent to hold him down and buy time for Hope on the opposite side. Still, too much damage is found. Hope is the last one alive. He's going to try to end the game single-handedly, but there's 3 members of Weibo trying to chase him down. Hope going to flash back away. Arha with the unbreakable shield, holding it down. Well, Elk finds the shots. He will drop at the end of the day, but the Nexus is defended by Weibo.
Again, it's not going to mean anything. It's soul point for AL. Maybe they have to wait till next Baron. That's in a minute and a half.
Yeah, that was collector value for Hope, by the way. That's what causes Elk to fall on down there.
I don't think that this game is necessarily a Realm Warp. They're just going for the Nexus. Okay.
Oh, no. Well, Tarzan and Shanks are here, and there's no stopping them. They're going to full send the squad to try to stop them, but Shanks is at full HP. They didn't even touch half of the backdoor crew, and therefore game is done for AL. 2-0 over Weibo Gaming. They will move up to 3rd in Group Ascent.